Fortunato. I am the kids pastor here at Cedar Valley Church. And today I have 3 simple questions that I want to tackle and explore with you guys on the concept of drama. And those 3 questions are very simple. They're what, why, and how. And today, before we dive into those questions, just for laughs, I wanted us to take a look at some church dramas that didn't go quite the way they thought they might go. So, here we go. Didn't go quite the way they were hoping they would go. So the first question that I want to tackle is what? Now most of us in here are very familiar with drama. Most of us use drama in some capacity. It's really a staple in kids' ministry. Whether it's a costume character to break the ice or play silly games, whether it's a short skit to teach a lesson, a Bible skit to teach a story of who God is and what his people were like, or maybe even you get adventurous and you do a human video. That's a little bit older, but you get adventurous, get kids to do a human video. Just for the cool factor, but I love drama. It's one of the things I'm very passionate about, using drama to teach kids in ministry. I've been involved with drama for a long, long time. One of my first roles was I was the wacky professor at the Wackadoo Zoo in my first grade play. And I was in a suit and a top hat, and it was just fun. And I continued in drama through my high school years. I did a couple of plays and worked with drama and theater at North Central. And I continue to use drama every single week in my kids' ministry here at Cedar Valley. And so I wrestled with that question of what is drama, and I think most of us can get the idea of what is drama, but that leads me just to the very simple next question is why? Have you ever stopped to think about why we use drama, or why we don't use drama? Why do you use drama? Do you use it because you're good at it and it's a skill set that you have? Do you use it because you have the people who can do it? Do you use it because you enjoy it? Or have you ever stopped to consider maybe why you don't use it in your kids' ministry? Is it because you think it's silly or irrelevant or it doesn't teach kids? Is it because you don't have the skill set to do it? Is it because there are no people around who you see that are good actors and you don't see those people right away? Have you stopped to consider why you do or don't use drama? And I wrestled with this question as I was starting to put this talk together, and I hope to show you part of the why. Part of why drama can be such a powerful tool to reach kids with the gospel. But before we do that, I want to take one step back, and I want to look at this concept, this idea of drama and the stage through different eyes, through little eyes. One of the coolest things to come out of the Phase Initiative out of Think Orange, one of the things that has stuck with me the most is the way they describe the way that kids interact with the world. So if you're looking at early childhood, as kids start to grow up, one of the things that they said was that kids view the world like an artist. They mix reality and imagination. So the things that are real that they see in the world and the things that are in their mind, their imagination, they mesh the two. So when you do drama for younger kids, when you start to bring a character in, or you do a skit, or you get them involved with a costume character, something really cool happens. When a little kid sees that, they don't see an actor. They get pulled into the story, and they see your story is my story. When they look at an actor, when they look at a character, they can make a connection that your story is my story. There's a powerful thing that happens while you use it. And as kids get older, they start to develop a skill that all of us know. It's the skill of empathy. Empathy is the ability to recognize and feel what others are thinking and experiencing. It's mirroring, it's knowing what somebody else is seeing and being able to feel that. And so for kids, when they develop that skill, they continue to learn from others. I mean, our entire ministries are really based off of the idea that kids can learn from other people's stories. And so when they can see problems, they can see solutions, and they can empathize with those things. In drama, this can be incredibly powerful, but it can also lead to some very funny and interesting moments. So in our Real Kids, we use drama teams almost every Sunday, and we've had multiple times where the drama is getting going and there's a problem set up on the stage with the kids, and the kids in the audience are so into the problem and so excited that they start to yell out solutions for the actors. Even though there's that fourth wall there and that they know, they think these people are acting, sometimes they don't realize, and they get so drawn into the story that they start to shout out the answers. Or you'll have a costume character come up. Have you ever done this? You have a costume character come up, and they're talking and trying to engage the audience, and they kind of ask a rhetorical question, and you have a kindergartner who jumps up, and they shout out this in-depth answer that takes about 2 minutes to shout out when it was a rhetorical question. I've had that happen to me. It creates some funny, interesting moments as you use them, but the interesting thing that this means is that they're no longer seeing these actors as characters. They're seeing them as people that they can learn from. And so as I wrestle with this idea, I discovered 3 ways that I think drama creates effective ministry in the church. The first one is that drama uses humor to break down walls by getting kids to laugh. Humor can be done in so many different ways. I mean, humor can be done with jokes. It can be done with silly things that you do. It can create games. But some of the most memorable humor moments are the drama moments. Funny skits, silly costume characters, they create an opportunity to laugh. And one of my mentors when I was interning out in Colorado told me that laughter is the anesthetic that allows the Holy Spirit to begin to operate. Laughter begins to open the door for the Holy Spirit to come in and operate and change things from the way that they were. Number 2, drama challenges perceptions and values. It challenges perceptions and values. It changes the watcher's perspective. When they watch a drama, they see things in a way they wouldn't normally see the world. They see a problem and they empathize, or they shout out that answer to the character because they have a perspective that somebody else doesn't have. It changes the way that they view the world. It changes perspective. And the final thing is that and this is one of the most powerful things. This can be done through story, but drama reaches the emotions. It reaches the heart level. You see, the language of our hearts is story. That's why the Bible is a story, but the language of our hearts is story. And so good drama draws kids into the story itself. It's similar to a form of storytelling, but it's different because it gives them a different perspective, an outside perspective. It allows kids to, like I said, experience the emotion of the story. We had a boy in our kids' ministry back when Jesse Baumgartner was here named Noah Pitts. And Noah, every time that we had family experience, would come in and he hated it. Family experience, we used a lot of drama, and he hated it. He would come in, and his parents were trying to figure out, why doesn't he like coming in? Because almost all of our kids love the drama. And they finally asked him, Noah, why don't you like going in to Real Kids FX? And he said, the gist of it was, I don't like seeing the kids on the stage dealing with these problems. Now, the kids are adult actors acting as kids. But the power of drama drew it in so much that he was feeling the tension of the emotion, and he hated it. He hated being there. And so they told him, these are actors. They're not actually dealing with these problems. And once he got that into his mind, he was like, oh, this is cool. I like to come in and watch it. But that leads into the last point that I have. It creates emotional tension that causes kids to wrestle with these important issues. So we use drama every week in Real Kids because I believe so much in its power to break down walls using humor, to change perceptions and values, and to reach the emotional heart of our kids. And so the final big question, you had what and you had why, and now it's the simple how. How do we do drama in our kids' ministry? Now, so many of you guys have the answer to this question already. But as I wrestled with it, the details of it are up to you and your kids' ministry. But I have learned a few things as I've been involved with kids' ministry teams and as I've led specifically these drama teams. And so a couple simple things with the how are first, find the people. Some of your best inroads to drama people are going to be high schoolers. High schoolers who are in speech, high schoolers who are already doing theater in their classes. You can have college students who are doing drama and theater in their college. Those are some of the easiest ways to find it. But in your church, you have people who are simply creative. They're simply expressive. And if you can get those people to take a step of faith or to take a courageous step and step out of their comfort zone and do something like this, you can create incredible teams. Second thing is work towards excellence. And when I say work towards excellence, the first thing to remember is that you're not going to have most excellent actors the first time that they're up on stage. I'm going to tell a story just a little bit of one of our actors who was, she's a high school student, just graduated, and first time she came out, it was one of the most awkward people I've ever put on stage. And she is now one of our best comic characters. She's awesome. But it's a work in progress. And so when you do it, remember that you're working towards excellence, but you're there yet. It takes coaching. It takes discovering what you want before you get to the end. And so that's the final point. Decide how you're going to use it before you get on the stage. Some of us have gotten up there, and we went up there with a really vague idea of what we were doing, and if you don't have the developed skill of improvisation, most of the time it turns into a train wreck. So decide how you're going to use it before you get up on stage. Is it going to be a lesson that you're teaching through a skit? Is it going to be a comic character who is engaging the kids just by being silly and by being fun? How are you going to use it? Decide before you get up on stage. And so the last thing that I want to leave you with to get down to the boots on the ground level is some simple practical ways that I've used to develop characters. So I've developed 10 or 12 different people through characters using this process, and that's my character, Lil Nikolai. He's a Russian foreign exchange student who loves BGMC. Figure that one. He's a Russian foreign exchange student, and he thinks he's a rapper. He thinks all Americans dress this way. So the process is very simple. You start with an idea. So for me, I'll illustrate it with Andrea's story. So Andrea, like I said, was one of our high school students. She just graduated. Through kids camp and through her being a small group leader with me, I discovered that she was energetic. She's exciting. She loves to be on stage. And so I said, why don't you come be a comic character? And she was excited. So we walked into my office, and we started putting up ideas on the board. So I have a whiteboard, and I just cleared it, and I said, okay, let's come up with every idea that we can of what you could maybe be as a comic character. And we just put a bunch of ideas up there, and she said, I think I'd like to be a superhero. And so, okay, let's go with this. So we moved to the next step, the idea, and then we moved to the backstory. A backstory is you have your actor create a story that goes behind your character that most of the kids will never ever see, but informs the way that the actor thinks about themselves when they're on the stage, so that they're not thinking, I'm Evan playing Lil Nikolai. When I'm up there, I think, I am Lil Nikolai, and this is the way I always act with my kids. And so you create a backstory behind the character to allow them to think that way. And so I said, okay, do you want your superhero to be an actual superhero who has superpowers? Or is this going to be a bumbling superhero who can't do anything right but thinks she's the best in the world? And she's like, that sounds like fun. And so she wrote her backstory of this person thinks that she's a superhero when she really has no superpowers. And so we started going into, okay, is there a voice distinction? So the next step is voice distinction. You can do this a lot of different ways. You can do accents, you can do tone, you can do the way you enunciate words. There's a lot of different ways that you can do voice distinction, but voice distinction allows the actor to once again step out of themselves and step into a new role. It allows them to separate that so they can get more into the character and connect on the emotional level. The fourth thing is costume. Costume is usually easy. So with Andrea, she became Bandana Girl. And so she's a superhero whose only power is that she has bandanas. And so she created a cape that's completely made out of kids' camp bandanas from all of her years at kids' camp. And she just has bandanas everywhere and a mask on. And it's so funny. It's so fun to watch her get up on stage to her Superman music and bumble around and connect with kids and make it so much fun on a Sunday morning. And the last thing is name, which you wouldn't actually think is that important, but this is one of the hardest things to come up with when you have a character to come up with a name. So that's why it's the last piece. And so as I finish, the simple thing is that drama is just it's an incredible way. It's part of storytelling. It allows other people to get involved. It's an incredible way to connect with the heart of kids, to help form faith, challenge perceptions, have fun, and allow kids to experience the gospel of Jesus Christ. Thank you.